I was driving all around Toronto, maybe 1,000 kilometers to make a deal, because I didn't have experience. I didn't know exactly what they're looking for. Right now, I'm much more like, I have now the ability to show just one property and to make a deal.
Oh, hi, Marius. So good to see you again. It's been a while. It feels like we are starting a new season of podcasts, but yeah, it's good to see you again.
Thank you so much for coming. Always a pleasure to meet with you and to see you
Same.
again and to do a nice new podcast.
Yeah, actually today I wanna people to learn a little bit more about you, because we often talk about real estate, which is amazing, which is great, because the purpose of our podcast is to educate people. And today I want people to see what I'm seeing in you, a high performer. So how did you get to where you are right now? Because you're very high right now.
Yes, thank you so much for this question, because everybody sees just the results, like it's like an iceberg above the water, but it's a lot of work and many years of not struggling, but improving my business.
Absolutely. Yes.
So I started a business in 2005 in real estate, and when I started, I was thinking that everybody who gets a license will be instantly successful,
Yes.
which was not the case. And I learned, just after I took the license, that just 80% of the licensees, they're losing their license in the next 2 years. I didn't know that. I was thinking that everybody can be successful. So in 2005, I realized that not having any friends, any relatives. I was new in Canada 4 years. I just came in 2001.
Yeah.
So I didn't have a network of people. I didn't have the base, let's say. And when my manager told me, Marius, you have to knock on doors, you have to call in order to get new clients, I was terrified.
Yeah.
So that was, I think, was the most difficult part of my career in the first 2 years, when I tried to find clients, because I didn't have any. And I was knocking on doors. I was knocking on doors of residential building that a tenant had. And everybody says, you have to go, in order to be successful, you have to start with listings. But I was thinking, I don't have any experience. I don't have any staging company to help me. I don't have any, any clue how to sell a house. So I started to go on the other side. I swim against the current, let's say.
Yes.
And then I try to find, clients for buying. Now, because I came in 2001, my first language was Romanian, and my second language was French, because I came in Montreal in 2001. All the interviews with the embassy were in French. So I knew English a little, very little. So when I came in Toronto in 2001 in December, I realized that the English that I know was nothing. So, I learned English, during my trips between the house and the job on CDs, and I was looking on cartoons for
Or
kids.
maybe at the grocery store when you talk to the cashier. Actually, it's very helpful.
It was, so I didn't have time to go to, I took like ESL for 3 or 4 months, but then, I didn't have time to go there anymore, because I supposed to pay my bills, to pay my rent, and to pay the food and everything. So I learned, on the, let's say, on the streets, on the TV, the English.
Yeah.
And then because of that, I didn't have like a perfect English. I had a huge, heavy accent, let's say Romanian accent.
Yeah.
I was thinking how to target Romanian people, because I had more, I have more in common with them. So what I did, I went on 411.ca, was a website, and I target, I try to find out where the Romanians they are living.
Okay.
So I put, family names, like the most common family names: Popescu, Ionescu,
The Escu,
and Escu,
ending
with
with
everything
Escu.
ending with Escu. I was putting on a 411, And then I found some, properties for rent, and then I found a lot of Romanians.
Oh, okay.
So, some in Etobicoke, Eglinton, and Islington, I said.
But that was very smart.
Yeah.
The way you decide to look up, and it's not like these days when everything is there online, right?
I think it was a smart decision. And I target. I remember on Gamble, on Roanoke, on a lot of Bucharest hotel, close to Bayview and Shepherd. So I target Romanian people first, and then I knock on doors. They were so pleased to see me. And I start with them. So the first, let's say, 10 deals I did they were Romanians. Like my background was easy to talk. We spoke in Romanian. The same. We have the same background. So it was a pleasure, and I make them happy. And then from that point, was like a snowball because they gave me their relatives, their friends. So I have a lot of referrals. And then I was more stable. Let's say after 1 or 2 years in real estate, I was like platinum level in Remax, which is between 250 and 500,000 in gross commission. So I was most like stable. And then I found out that on the listing side, so I was working most of the 2-3 years of my life in real estate as a buyer agent.
Yes.
But after 3 years, I realized that, the people that I purchased 3 years ago, they called me back because they said, okay, I want to upgrade my home. And then I started being a listing agent, which was much more difficult. So I started in the listing side, but here is much more demanding than in the buyer side. Why? Because, now the seller is paying all the commission. And they have to see in you somebody that perform, somebody that is, giving all his best to get the best price. And I start looking around, and I saw so many agents. They did nice photos and nice, nice presentations, but they were not perfect. And I learned from that. Then
that was actually the key. You observed. Yeah, and I want to go back a little bit. When you started, you said you were like frightened to start knocking on the doors, but you did it anyway. So what made you decide, well, I'm going to knock on the doors and talk to people I don't know. My English not very good, but I'm going to talk anyway. So what is in your mind? Like, what was your level of confidence? What was like, how did you decide, yes, I'm going to do what is not very comfortable. I'm not in the comfort zone. I'm going outside of my comfort zone.
It's a great question. I think that period of time was to be or not to be. So I supposed to pay rent. I supposed to, I spend all my money, getting into real estate. I spent about 5K just to get a license, to get a for sale signs and business cards and stuff like that. And then suddenly, all my credit was off. And then my wife said, if you are not making any sales, we are going bankruptcy. So
it's more frightened than the first fright.
Oh my God! If I didn't do let's say the first sales, I was in bankruptcy for sure. So it's very hard
scary.
It's very scary.
Yes, it
so
is.
I didn't have any chance then to knock on doors. I don't like it.
Yes.
But that one was the beginning.
So you're not even thinking. See, this is what we are seeing, right? If we have time to debate, what should I do now? Should I knock? Should I don't knock? It's like we have a luxury, honestly, because it seems like we have so many options. But when we are out of options, like you said, I would go in bankruptcy. It's a little bit different. It's totally different. You're not even thinking, oh my God, I cannot knock. Oh yes. Yeah, I will knock to all the doors I can probably.
And on that point, I we were lucky because was not that do not call list on that point in 2005. Yeah. So you can call anybody in town and nobody was complaining about it. But now, after a few years later, they come with a do not call list. So you're fined if you call the people that they don't want to be called. So, what I did was I went to the, Romanian grocery store, the ABC Delicatessen in Toronto. Everybody knows about it. It was the most successful. It is the most successful right now.
It still is.
So I went there, and then I remember was a table where the owner, agreed to put all the business cards of all the Romanian businesses around Toronto area. So what I did, I took all the business cards with me, and then during the last 2-3 months, I think, I called all of them from my office. And then they were surprised because I told them, I said, Mr. John, I have your business card from the Romanian community. So do you want to, do you have a house for sale, or do you want to buy a house with me, because I'm a Romanian agent like yourself? So we have the same background, I can help you. So, and it was amazing because so many people, they responded positive, and they hired me on the first place, and I start searching for homes, and it was not easy with some people because I was in the beginning. Now I'm more effective, let's say. Now let's say if I show 10 properties, I make a deal. We make an offer in the first 10. In the first years, it took like 80 properties, 70 properties. Imagine, I was driving all around Toronto, maybe 1,000 kilometers to make a deal, because I didn't have experience. I didn't know exactly what they're looking for. Right now, I'm much more like, I have now the ability to show just one property and to make a deal, because I know how to search that property.
Yes. You learn a lot.
I was like a few months ago, I just give you an example. I have a client of mine that her son was he live in Ottawa and working for the Canadian government. And then she told me, Marius, I want to buy, because you made me happy when I purchased in Toronto. I want to make my son happy. Then he's living in Ottawa.
That's another thing.
So they sent me like 8 properties, and I told my client, I said, I'm Toronto, you're in Ottawa, I would love to come, but we have to be very precise. So from 8 properties, I choose the number 1. In his list was number 1. I went one day, I showed the property, they like it, and then we put an offer, we won, and then now just a few days ago they closed the deal.